Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody have their Lulu pants on? Okay, we don't want that picture. We don't want that picture. Don't post it. Okay, that's what we know. That's what we know. Uh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow, what a ripper, what a ripper, what a ripper. So here's the logic. People asking me the logic around Lulu. And so Nike, everybody says things were bad, Nike, but China was opening up. So Nike came out and it did good and went up 10 plus. Went up very nicely. So that implied that Lulu would do better. Doesn't mean it would go up, but it would mean it would do better, right? So if it's going to go do better, then you go buy the calls, and we bought the calls. But you know, we did something different. So we would have typically bought the 350s or the 360s. I would have bought the 350s that were $2, or the 355s at 1 1/4. I would have bought those, right? Because if it ran, it really ran. But the way the market is, you have to be closer to the money. So we bought less. I mean, I only put in $6,000. I didn't even put in $10,000 on this one. So, you know, we didn't buy a lot. We just bought like 15 of them. So very small, but they're going to go to 40. 4 is going to go to 40. Okay. But that's the market you have. Yesterday, nothing really happened. Okay. So let's talk about today's theory. Very interesting. So there's two theories. One is they sell into month end and they sell all the winners and they buy all the losers. They do shit like that. Okay. But then there's another theory that's very, very interesting is NVIDIA. If you're going to go invest, let's say you're just an investor, an ordinary guy, and you say, you go talk to your wife and she goes, okay, let's pick a mutual fund or let's pick a fund. Okay. And you go look at that fund and you see what are their top holdings. Now, if they're buying Afram and UPST and all this garbage stuff, coin, you immediately say, I don't want anything to do with that. So what stocks do they need to hold into the end of the quarter? Now, they may sell them on the 1st. Nobody's saying they don't, okay? But you would think that they buy Microsoft and they buy NVIDIA into the end of the month. I mean, that once again, this is just this. You come up with these theories, and then you try and play them one way or the other, and then you see, right? Okay, so now those two get bought, and if the market runs, and now today I think we're up 30, right? We're up 33, something like that, 32. So you're at 4,003. Do we get to 4,009, 4,021? Look, nothing's better. Okay, the banks are going to have more problems. The things that Barr said yesterday are ridiculous. So the San Francisco Fed knows a bank has a problem. They know they can go bankrupt and blow up. But they can't tell people. They're not going to create panic. Do not send them a message and say, you have 90 days to change everything, or we're going to cripple you. We're going to come in there and replace you. I understand there'll be a problem, but don't you do that? You just don't let them do whatever they want to do. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? Then think about the insanity, the absolute insanity of the Fed. I mean, everybody needs to be accountable here. So you're going to do a stress test saying, oh, okay, this is if you're stressed. So they've been raising rates for a year. Okay? So let's not test on what happens if we keep raising rates. Did somebody not say when Bullard came out and said, we want 5% 6 months ago to say, let's go do a special test. We're going to go do a special test. Too bad. See, so these guys, they're all scummy. I'm telling you, I told you this many years ago, and I'll tell you this again. So there's two ways you can go approach your job. One is you got a job and you got a good salary, and you just do what you're supposed to be told. Never make it. If your CEO tells you to do something, you do it, even if he's just an idiot and he's wrong. Okay. If your boss, who may be layers down, says, go do that. Go load those servers with new software tonight. We're going to load it tonight. You don't need to test it. So you just go do that. Even though you know that something's going to blow up and everything's going to go to shit, you still do that. Why? Because your boss told you to do it. Okay, that's one thing. That's one way to run your job, and you will have a job forever and ever. You know why? Because there's enough people that are idiots that go in there and complain, say, I'm going to sign a petition, or they're not paying for this, or they cut out my Starbucks from Google. Now I'm pissed off. Let's start a petition to get it back. Those people, they just get fired. As soon as something bad happens, you have enough people to fight. Okay? So now you go along doing your job. So the guy that did the stress test on SIVD went and said, he told his boss, and the boss, they're changing bosses over there. And so he just let it go. He didn't do nothing. So he's going to still have his job forever and ever. Okay? Now, if he would have created waves, he went in there and said, this is going to blow up, and he creates waves. Now, two things happen when you create waves. Either you lose your job right away, or you become the boss. Very straightforward. But most people won't create waves. And he should have created waves. If he'd have went out there, he would probably be on the Fed. He would be a member of the Fed. If a member of the San Francisco Fed, the guy that did the thing, I mean, he's not the top guy at the San Francisco. If he would have become the top guy. He said, this bank is going to blow up. This is easy to see. And it is easy to see. I mean, guys, I explain it better than anybody I've ever heard. I see all these guys explain this shit on TV. They don't even know how to explain this stuff. Very simple. If you get $1 billion and you go buy $1 billion worth of treasuries at 1%, it's good for 30 years, 1%. You make 1%. And then if interest rates go to 4%, so all the people in your bank want 2% or 3% interest. But you can't pay that interest because you only get it 1%. You're completely gone. You're done. The bank goes under. That's the simplest explanation. I know it doesn't work like that. There's CDs and there's mortgage-backed securities and all this other stuff and mortgages. But I'm telling you, that's how you explain it. Very simple. Okay? And then here's the next thing I heard. I hear stuff. It fascinates me. This guy told me, he goes, Sam, I bank. This guy never bank at SIV. And he goes, I got a couple $1 million. And he goes, I explicitly asked them. I went in there and asked them if I'm going to be covered 3 years ago. And he goes, the president of the bank came out and assured me I was covered. And I'm like, you're gonna believe the president of a bank? It just tells you he's lying to you. People's lying to you. Why would it be covered? Now, understand they did a special circumstance, but it's not covered, guys. All these guys are saying, oh, if you have $3 million in another bank, oh, they'll fix it. They're not going to fix it. They're going to make somebody, one person, one bank, a scapegoat. Because you're going to go trust some guy? Think about it. You go to State Farm. Let me tell you, there's a problem here. Give you another story. I got so many stories here. Okay? So Rowlett, where I live, they had a tornado. And, just 3-4 blocks from my house. Everything is gone. Okay? And all kinds of people are pissed off with all these things. With Allstate was the biggest culprit. Allstate is, your house is gone, and you need to show me receipts and pictures, or we're not paying for this. Really? Really? Think about that. And then, so we got lucky back then. Okay? So here's the next thing. So, I called my insurance. I said, would this be covered? Would this be covered? Do I need pictures and all? I made at least 20 phone calls. And everybody just said blindly, oh yeah, everything's covered. Blindly. And then I started calling up people that are adjusters. And they say, oh no, we don't do that. Not with this company and this company. So you can't believe people. So don't believe the bank. Don't believe the Fed. Don't believe anybody. Reality is reality. Okay? That's what we know. Let's get started. Good morning, everybody. 3:29. Lulu. In honor of Lulu. Will you Lulu pay? Buy wifey a couple more pairs. That's what we know. That's what we know. SPX. 4003, 4009, 4021, 4052, underneath 3980. Avago, chips. Micron, the worst loss in history, and it's up, and they're saying it's a bottom. Now, who is it? I don't know. Okay? So, Avago, 636, 651, under 621. NVIDIA, if it gets to 272 and can hold, then you have the phenomena that they buy into the close on Thursday, Friday, and pop this 277 to 281, underneath 261 bad. Lam Research, they make the DRAM. If Micron is bottom, that means Lam Research gets orders. And let me tell you, if they believe, this is very simple today, if they believe that Micron has bottom, Lam Research should be 520 today. 520. They're going to pop this to 500 in the first 5 minutes. Now, if they don't pop it to 500, that means they don't believe it's a bottom. So know that. That means some techs and all the chips can reverse. Coin, 60. How come I can't get under 60? Hilarious. CMG back on the screen. Interesting here. It's at 1652. Okay. If we have a big deflationary event coming Friday with the PCE, CMG can rip to 1700. Okay. If it's way high, 1600. Lulu. 270, 376, 382. 382 is hard. It's hard. But if it breaks 382, it's got 400 written all over it on the squeeze. Now we got the 340. Okay. They're going to open at $33. Okay, well, we should do a quiz here. Okay, they're $33 in the money. What should the price be? Come on, type it in. At a minimum, what's the minimum intrinsic value, the real value of the 340s? Come on, type it in. Nobody's typing. There you go. The real value is 33. You take 373 and you subtract it from 340. That's your real value. Okay, very simple. Okay, Meta, 206, 209. When this gets to 211, we'll go back in. Snowman, 141, 146. Geez, I'm walking around here. MDB, 221, 229. The NASDAQ today may run. Watch it. The NASDAQ may run. Very weak yesterday. That puts the 12,700s into play. Okay? NOW, 441. I actually like NOW for earnings. We're going to start looking at it. And I like the 460 for earnings. If it's like $5, it's a one that can go 5 to 30 also. So we'll see. Okay? Netflix, 336. Microsoft, 281, 282. Any close over 282 can go. Baidu, 159. Baba, 101, 109. Google, 106. 106, big number. Tesla, 198, 200. And that's what we know. Okay, comments, questions. That's what we got. Okay, it's a Lulu type of day. Everybody have a great trading day. See you.